The topic is aches and pains, and I'm kind of putting this video off all day because my associates keep saying we want to talk about fractals, and we want to talk about dark fractals that get blown into the geometry of your physical body and your aura. Now, these dark fractals are what causes you to have aches and pains, disease, and, in the old days, they used to check you at school for scoliosis, which was a bend in your spine. So anything that where your geometry of your body is out of alignment with Vitruvian Man. If you don't know Vitruvian Man, look it up. It's a Leonardo DiCaprio painting of a perfect geometrical male form. It can work the same way with a female form. It's based upon what's known as the golden mean. So you can look up the golden mean as well as it respects to the physical body. And so what are these dark fractals, dark energies that get into you? Not so much going to go into that. We're going to go into how do you get rid of them. Mostly what you need to do is stop trying to get rid of them. The more you try to resist these things, the more they're going to stick to you. If you were an absolutely clear transparency, they would not stick to you at all. They would pass right through you. So, in essence, what it means is that there is something in your, well, I don't know if it's your body or your mind, your consciousness, something because even those things are not all one thing. Your body and your mind are not really the same thing. And your witnessing consciousness can witness the body and witness the mind speaking, and it's a different thing. So there's different parts of you that, you're a multiplicity of things that make up a human being. You're not just one thing. So these negative fractals that come in cause pain and cause you to be, maybe you have there's something in me or something in me. You can hear it. That's a synchronicity. My watch makes these noises not randomly when it wants to draw attention to things. There is something in my something or other which is making achy and pain happen. So are these dark fractals from the outside coming in and vibrating at the same frequency as something inside something of mine? Question mark. The answer is it's not necessarily your stuff that these negative fractals are getting attached to. we don't have good vision as humans. We see a very small frequency of the electromagnetic spectrum, visible light. And, if you look at the electromagnetic spectrum, the amount of visible light that we see is a teeny tiny fraction of the totality of electromagnetic light. And that's just light. We don't we don't see consciousness with our vision. Some people are born with some, or they acquire gifts to see things like auras. But the common man or woman doesn't have these abilities. So I'm kind of off topic, but the point of the matter is, if you're experiencing these pains, how do you escape them if they're not really yours? So first of all, you have to look to see, is there something in me that these dark fractals are harmonizing with, and that's why they're hanging around. It's going to be more and more difficult to determine if it's true, because a lot of these things now have been processed, and things are still coming up. Yesterday, I was reading Dr. David R. Hawkins talk in one of his books that, well, when he wrote the book in, let's say about 2004, he said 85% of the human population in 2004 calibrated under 200 on the scale of human consciousness. 85% of humanity are demonic in 2004. If you're under 200, you're a demon. It's a very negative being. 85% of humans, according to Dr. Hawkins in 2004, were demonic. So, and they're concentrated, according to Dr. Hawkins, he said 55% of Americans in 2005 calibrated under 200 on the scale of human consciousness. So even in an advanced state, the most advanced state on the planet, arguably the United States, 55% of the people are negative in 2004. I don't know what it is now. Dr. Hawkins has since passed on, and my ability to muscle test comes and goes. Anyway, the point of the matter is, once you have cleared out the negativities in your own personality, then you have to deal with all the other negativities of the human collective. And from the numbers I just gave you, I'm sorry, it's really, really, really negative. So, I mean, as long as you're part of humanity, you have got a lot of collective karmas that have to be paid off. And who's going to pay them off? Well, people who are highly negative, like 85% of the population, ain't going to be paying off these negative karmas anytime soon. Mostly they're adding negative karmas. So if you are not a negative person, it's you, folks. You're going to have to pay off these negative karmas because no one's going to help you. The benefit of us paying off these karmas is it's going to make it easier for the 85% of humanity who are negative to become positive. Because pretty much these negative karmas that are holding them into the demonic territory are part of the culture that they live in. And if we can clear off the karmas of humans in general, these negativities are going to evaporate in their world. And they're not going to be able to do it because they're so deep in negativity, you can't expect them to. It's a wonder they survive at all. Being negative beings, it's a wonder that they can survive at all. So, unfortunately, it means if you have a lot of what we call ascension symptoms, aches and pains, fatigue, brain farts, in other words, you just seem to lose your memory, or you've got brain fog. Plenty of other ascension symptoms, you could look it up. Are these burning off karmas? Not necessarily, but they're a sign that you are on mission to do your work. How do you burn off the collective karmas of all of these other humans? If you're of a high vibration, you counterbalance enormous numbers of negative humans somewhere else on the globe or in your own town. Sometimes these negative humans still get into major troubles, and you hear stories about people having horrible things happen to them. Does it burn off the negativity? According to Dr. Hawkins, yes. Isn't there an easier way to burn off karmas rather than to get into a major brawl or worse? One of the key things you have to do is forgive whatever happened even 5 seconds ago. If you were in some major fight with someone more than 5 seconds ago, because it usually takes a few seconds for you to catch your breath, but beyond that, you have to let it go. Drop it. Drop it like it was a hot stone, too hot for you to handle. It's not hot potato and throw it to your friend. It's you got to drop it. Because the past no longer exists. And if you keep dragging around the past and holding grudges with other people because they did something to you, you're not going to burn off the karma. The karma is actually going to propagate because your lesson from this karma is exactly that. I know something shitty happened. They swore at you. They threw a punch at you. They cut you off in traffic. Whatever it was. The human thing in you is to, get angry and fight back. The saint in you is to let it go. Does that mean you're never going to throw a punch back in self-defense? No, it doesn't. Even when you're of a high vibration, you will find that self-defense is still allowed. But don't go looking for revenge. In other words, in the moment, if someone throws a punch at you and you find you're throwing a punch back and you connect with their glass jaw and drop them on the floor, then let it go. If you knock the person out, maybe you're going to call 911 and, because at that point, once your altercation is, you've taken this person who is dangerous out of the danger zone by knocking them out, then you do have a certain responsibility as a good Samaritan to see that they get medical attention. Do you see the point? If someone is highly dangerous and agitated and is coming after you, If they're bigger than you might want to run away as fast as you can, or go find somebody really big, and just hide. Like, come on, help me! This crazy person is really big. They're coming after me. But whatever happens in the incident, if you can run away and get away from them, that might be a really good idea. Anyway, the whole point is, once you've either run away or someone has, taken the bouncers have captured this people, or the police have captured this person, you want to let it go. What about telling other people about what happened? Is that propagating the incident? Yes. Yes. If you're talking about it and calling everyone on your friends list and saying, oh, this happened, in a certain way, you are propagating it. Are you warning people to watch out? People already know to watch out. This certain person is still on the loose. Watch out for them. That's okay. That's okay because the incident is continuing. In other words, there was a really nasty person down in the street corner. You see your neighbor out in the backyard. Your neighbor is like 85 years old. You might go over to your neighbor and say, look, there's a bad character in the neighborhood right now. Please go inside the house and lock the door. And you do the same thing. So it's all, safety and consciousness. But once the person has been captured by the police and is put into jail, you should try and move on. You should try and move on as much as you can. The human thing is to talk about it and talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. And then worry if the person is going to get out of jail and be back on the street. Try not to get caught up in the negativity of it all. Now, I'm kind of off topic as to what to do about the aches and pains and the ascension symptoms. Are they ever going to go away? I gave you the first point. You have to drop it. Forgive it. Let it go. And the human thing to do is not to let it go. It's like this person caused a scene a week ago when he was out, and there that person is again. You still have to breathe. Maybe you're still very hyper alert around this person, but you're really trying hard to realize that this is a new now, and that old now is gone. And the more you can do that, the more you help this other person let go of whatever happened in the past. It's not going to be easy to tell you that these karmic things that keep coming that are painful are probably going to keep coming for quite some time. Some people say, well, maybe you should be taking medications and things to help with the pains. It's not easy to tell you, but the pain helps to pay off the karma. So if you can get really good at being in pain but not suffering, that's a spiritual lesson. In other words, I feel the pain and I'm not going to complain. That's not a human thing to do either. But if you can get that far on a spiritual journey to feel pain and not complain, that's a huge, huge sign that you've spiritually evolved. Are you never going to get out of the pain? According to the consciousness research of Dr. David R. Hawkins, when you get into very high vibrational frequencies, quite often in the past, they have come with great deals of pain, mostly because of things in the collective consciousness of humanity which have to come up to consciousness. And Dr. Hawkins says if you're working towards higher consciousness, you should really pray for guidance on how to deal with these pains. How do you pray? Don't use words. Word prayers don't work. The best prayers you can do, I think, are be very silent. Inner silence. Not complaining, not blabbing on the phone, not going to every doctor in town looking for opiates or something. Try and carry on your life as best as you can. And there are times, God knows it happens to me, where I have to stop. I can't even walk because of the pain that I go through. Ascension symptoms. Do the best you can, day to day, moment to moment. Sometimes you'll find you get a spurt of energy and you just amaze yourself because an hour previous to that you had a migraine headache and you didn't think you were going to be able to do anything. So the things come and go. A famous saying is, this too will pass. This too will pass, whether it's a good moment or a shitty moment. Don't give up. That's another spiritual lesson you must keep in mind. Don't give up just because it hurts and you're in pain. Someone wants to know about medical marijuana. My personal history was I used to be in a lot of pain many years ago, and I became very chronic on the stuff. I'm not now. I'm better now, question mark, than I was then. If you're heavily chronic, in other words, you get up first thing in the morning at 7 o'clock and you hit your bowl of marijuana, does it help you get through your day? If you try it again tomorrow and you say, yesterday I hit the bowl at 7 a.m. Today at 7 a.m., do I really need this bowl of marijuana? Try and go for a day without it. See how you do. Some people might say, try and get the right dose so that you're not overdosing on it. I try to go as much as I can without any drugs at all. Why? I don't even know if there's a why anymore. It's what my body wants. My body is reluctant to take aspirin, Advil, acetaminophen, marijuana, very averse to booze. Very, very averse to my body doesn't like booze at all. Once in a blue moon, if I'm having a really severe pain attack, I might take some Advil and hope it works. I use topical things for aches and pains. I don't use marijuana very much. Sometimes it works to a certain extent. I never know if it's going to work or not. Sometimes it doesn't work at all. Sometimes it really seems to loosen up my muscles. I don't understand the mechanism of it. How does that affect burning off of karmas? It can never be said that one person can take on the karma of the world. Sorry, Jesus didn't burn off all the karma of the world. It's never going to be easy to free yourself of toxic things, not toxic chemicals, but toxic fractals, which are thought forms of evil directed towards other people by the 85% of humans on the planet that are demonic. These people are creating etheric darts. If you think of a dart that you throw at a dartboard, in the etheric realm, people's hatreds create these etheric darts. And all kinds of other nasty things like stinging nettles and itchy things and burning things and acidic things. All kinds of horrible things come from the hatred that people have. And the etheric is it's next to your physical body. You don't normally see the etheric, but it's where a lot of the body's blueprints are stored before they come into the physicality. And in the etheric, there's a lot of negativities, these dark fractals that get into your etheric body and outpicture as pains and agonies in your body. If humans would let go of their hatred and all kinds of very low vibrational frequencies, we could heal a lot of people. But getting them to let go of all these patterns, don't know how to do it. You could pray. Don't pray using words. Pray with as much meditation and silence as you can. Dr. Hawkins said, imagine iron filings. And if you ever taken a magnet when you were a kid and you took iron filings, you can see that iron filings will follow magnetic lines. Dr. Hawkins said each one of us is born here on planet Earth as a karmic wind-up toy. We have our karmas, and we're born to perfectly align ourselves with the karma that we have, and there's an infinite field, and not a magnetic field, it's an infinite field of possibilities with where to go with our karma. The best thing you can do is head to high vibrational states. Otherwise, you're going to get trapped by your karma in low vibrational states, and you're never going to get out of the trap of it all. So, raising your consciousness, seeking higher wisdom, meditating, and letting go of all your negativities is the best way to deal with the karmic package you came in with at birth and which you added to from time of birth up until the time when you watch this video. The only way out of this trap, because Earth is a bit of a trap, because you all have this karma that you have to deal with, is to burn it off with good karma, which means you must raise your vibration. Sorry, that's the truth. All of us have to deal with it. No one gets out of here alive. Jim Morrison said that. It's a lie. You do get out of here alive, believe it or not. You're an eternal spirit, and you do move on. If you want to move on, you don't want to come back to play the same game you played last lifetime. In order to do that, you've got to move out of low vibrational fields. You must move towards enlightenment. That's the only way. And then you won't have to come back and play this game the same way next time. If you can burn off a lot of the karma in this lifetime, your next lifetime, you're going to end up with a different karmic package. If you're born on planet Earth, you'll be born into better circumstances. If you're born on another planet, you'll be born into different circumstances. I didn't say better. It doesn't necessarily mean the same thing if you're not born on planet Earth. Not every planet is a free will planet. like Earth is. In other words, on Earth, you have the free will choice to be a low frequency, low vibe, hateful, vile, demonic, or to be a saint. That's all your free will is about. Which direction are you going to travel? Are you going to be a toilet turd person, hateful and vengeful? Or are you going to work towards becoming an enlightened yogi? The wise choice is to become an enlightened yogi. The stupid choice is to be a toilet turd demonic, because then you're just going to have to keep coming lifetime after lifetime and never progressing, never getting anything new. I'm Harry Weaver, and that's your daily update.